Hello all, welcome to this webinar brought to you today by HITEC Sensors. I am HITEC Prasanna and I am the Technical Service Center Manager.
I am Nilanga, Lead Mechanical Engineer. We will be your host today. Before we get into the details of load pins, let us to give you an introduction of HITEC Sensors. HITEC Sensors has pioneered the design and manufacturing of load cells, strain gauge based force and torque sensors for over 50 years.
We are headquartered in Massachusetts with a further specialist facility in Sri Lanka. Our specialist sensor technology in custom sensor solutions in the most critical environments such as medical, aerospace, industrial, automotive, energy, and so much more. We are proud to be the part of HITEC Sensors, a group of companies dedicated to push the boundaries of custom sensors. Our expertise knowledge on custom sensors, micro machining, and fiber optics enable us to be the industry leader. Let's get started with today's webinar. Measuring force with load pins. In today's webinar, we are going to cover what are the load pins, how are they used, and what are the benefits of the load pins, and what are the limitations of them. And my colleague Nilanga will go through some of the examples of the load pins, and at the end we are going to cover the summary of the webinar as well as the question and answer session. What are the load pins? So, load pin is a specialized type of sensor which consists of cylindrical shaped sensor body and which are made of steel alloy or a high strength alloy material, and also load pin designed to be inserted into the load bearing assembly. So once the bearing assembly get the pressure or a force, load pin gets deflects. So the deflection of the load pin is proportional to the force applied on it. So with the deflection is then measured using various sensing technologies such as strain gauges which are bonded into the sensor body. The sensors converted the deflection into the electrical signal which can be calibrated and also measured accurate sensor proportional to the applied load. Where are the load pin used? Here that we are going to talk about what are the usages of the load pins. Aerospace applications. In aerospace application, load pins are used in tension and compression modes. Typically sensors are hermetically sealed and normally they come with the internal amplifications. Next application is cranes and hoists. Load pins are often used in lifting applications to measure the overhanging loads. In the cranes and boom trucks and everything. Next one is the tension monitoring applications. Load pins are vastly used for the tension monitoring of cables and overhanging weights and wires, so to make sure that safety of the systems. Axial load measuring. So load pins can be integrated into the vehicle axles or the individual wheels to make sure that load distribution and also measure the weight. Next application in marine and offshore. In marine and offshore applications, load pins are used to measure the loads on the anchor chains and mooring lines and lot of critical applications. Next is manufacturing and testing. Here that in manufacturing and testing applications, load pins are used to measure the weights, same time to ensure the safety of the systems. And agriculture and construction equipment. So load pins are used in agricultural and constructional machineries. As example, excavators and agricultural machineries, and load pins are also can be used in the backhoe machines and a lot of construction equipments. Let's move to the next application, which is safety application. Load pins are used to measure the overhanging loads to make sure that to ensure not lifting the overloads, and also that there are applications in secondary load path detection, and there are so many applications in the safety applications. Okay, let's move on to the next section, which is what are the benefits of the load pins. What are the benefits of load pins? So we have listed here few of the benefits here. Durability is the first one. Durability is a significant advantage of the load pins, and also it has a significant capability of withstanding higher number of overloads. So normally load pins can be designed to withstand 3 to 4 times overload of its operational load. Even with this condition, load pins maintain its accuracy requirements and other functional requirements. Next one is real-time monitoring. Load pins can be used to monitor the real-time load measurements. So load pin provides real-time data to the control systems and other safety systems as well. So it prevent damages of the system and damages for the equipment and machineries. Okay, moving to next one. Next one is the compact design. So when we talk about the compact design, so load pins can be seamlessly integrated into the existing system, because load pin doesn't need to have extra space or a extra envelope for the sensor itself. So you can remove existing load pin or the hinge pin and seamlessly integrate it with the load pin. So that's why we are talking about the compact design. Okay, next benefit is easy installation. So load pins can be easily installed as same way you install your hinge pin. Only thing you need to make sure is the alignment of your load. With this easy installation, it's possible to save a lot of labor cost as well as time. Load pins are available in vast range of load capacities. That is our next benefit, wide range of load capacities. So typically load pins can measure from 50 lbf or 200 lbf, and larger load cells can measure up to 300, 400 tons. Even higher loads can also be measured with load pins. Let's move on to the next, which is low maintenance. Load pins are typically very reliable as well as durable. So because of the quality of the materials and high strength materials, the maintenance requirement is very low. Because of the low maintenance requirements, we can save a lot of money on maintenance cost, as well as we can save a lot of time on the maintenance. Okay, next benefit is safety. With high strength and its exceptional overload capacity, load pins ensure the safety of systems and sub-assemblies. Especially if your system has vibration loads or shock loads or potential overloads, so load pins can provide the safety in your systems. Next benefits, compatibility and versatility. Load pins are designed to compatible with many assemblies. So easy installation capability of the load pins. This compatibility simplifies the process of incorporating load pins into various systems and applications. Versatility. The load pins are highly versatile equipments. Load pins can be used in many applications as well as variety of industries, from industrial machinery to aerospace applications. Okay, let's move on to the next section. What are the limitations? If you have an idea to use a load pin in your system, please make sure you are aware about these limitations of the load pins. Accuracy. The load pins are not normally accurate as much as some of the other load cells. As example, load pins accuracy can be affected by the misalignments of the loads as well as eccentric loads, and also the wear and tear over time of the loading assembly. And if your system requirement of the accuracy is less than 0.5% of the full scale load, so the load pin is not a correct candidate for your application. Capacity. So the pins have a very good variety of load application, but the pins are not suitable to measure less than 50 lbf or 200 Newton capacities cannot be measured with the load pins. Moving to next, size and weight. So the size and weight of the load pins is higher. If you compare same capacity load cell in another type, the load pins are heavier. So because of that, so if your system has the constraint of weight, so the load pin is not good candidate for the to your system. Next one is mounting requirement. This is very important because so if you have an idea to use a load pin in your system, the load pin need to be aligned with your loads. The load pin has a marked direction for the load application, so your load pin need to be aligned perfectly that load direction. And also if your system has a loose tolerances, that also may be affect to your accuracy of the measurements. Okay, this point onwards, this presentation will be continued by my colleague Nilanga. Nilanga, it's over to you.
So I'm going to talk about the standard load pin series that we offer, and also I'll go through some of the custom designs that we have done. First, I will talk about the standard load pin, which is called ALP series. So here we offer two types of designs. One is the connector type design, and also we have a cable version as well. So this standard series starts from 5 kilonewton and goes up to 200 kilonewtons. At the moment, the standard output is 1 millivolt per volt, but if you need amplified versions like milliamperes, volt versions, we can offer them in the same envelope. We have room for the for a integrated PCB. Okay, let's talk about some of the custom designs that we have done. So first example that I am going to discuss is this load pin, which is a 7-ton load pin used in an agricultural trailer. Here you can see the trailer has a couple of load pins. In this image you can see a couple of load pins. One is here and the other one is on the other side, and it is combined with a couple of other load cells to create a weighing system. Okay, next example I am going to discuss is another load pin used in an agricultural application. This one is different because it has only one shear groove. So there are some situations where we need to use a single shear groove. Usually we have a couple of grooves, but this one has a single shear groove. So it has a high low accuracy, but there are situations where we need to use this kind of load pin. Okay, next example I am going to talk about is a shackle load pin. So we make a couple of load pins for one of our customers. We have one large pin that is 4.75 ton. The smaller one is 3.25 ton. We make the pins. Our customer assembles this shackle, the bobbin, and finally they assemble their wireless enclosure to the end of the load pin. So these pins are used in the entertainment industry, where when you need to hang lighting systems, speakers in hangers like this. So using these pins we can monitor the weight of the hanger. Okay, let's talk about a few more examples. Here, first one is a dual channel load pin that we have developed, that is 15.5 kilonewtons. So it has a couple of channels. You can see it's a single pin, but it has a couple of channels. The next example is a small load pin. It is 2,250 newtons. You can see it has a welded flange here to provide the anti-rotation feature, and it is an amplified version. Because it is a small pin, we can't put PCBs inside the sensor, so we have used enclosure here. So the amplifier is mounted externally to the load pin. And the next one is a PCB version. This is also an amplified version. It's a larger pin, and we have the PCB inside this part of the pin. So you can see we have welded cover here. It is 175 kilonewtons. And the next example that I am going to discuss is another small load pin that is 3000 kilogram force, and it has a cable, and it has a connector at the end of the cable. And this one is a bidirectional load pin. We can make bidirectional load pins that can be calibrated in tension and compression modes. This is calibrated to 2250 Newton tension and compression. The last one I am going to discuss is a 1-ton load pin. It's a connector version. You can see we can take the exit radially to the pin as well. Here basically I need to show you what kind of designs that we can do, and also what kind of output option, connectors, cables, different cable exit orientation, and so on. So if you have any requirements, just let us know. We are happy to help you. Okay, let's summarize what we have discussed so far. For the load pins, we can offer capacities from 50 lbf to 100 kilo lbf. Anything less than 50 lbf is challenging, but if you have any requirement, just let us know. We can discuss. And the accuracy is typically from 0.5 to 2%. Again, if you need anything high accuracy, then let us know. We can help, because we have some options to improve the accuracy. Sealing, typically we provide sealing with IP67 or IP68, but if you need fully hermetically sealed versions, we can provide them with hermetically sealed design, which are fully hermetically welded. And we provide load pins with cable and connector versions. Generally we have a 4 to 6 manufacturing lead time. So if you need something very urgently, maybe we can help. Just let us know. And output options are millivolt volt output, and we can provide amplified versions like volt and milliamps, and we have a few other options as well. That depends on your requirement. And finally, we can provide load pins, wireless load pins. I discussed that earlier. So we have made a few wireless load pins as well. Okay, I think that's it from the presentation. We can move on to the questions. Hasid, I think we can answer a few questions.
Okay. Thank you, Nilanga. And actually, we got a lot of questions, and out of these questions, we have sorted few of the questions to ask from Nilanga. So let me ask the first question from you. What if the load is not perfectly aligned with the sensor? How does it affect performances?
Yeah, talking about the alignment is very important for the accuracy of the load pin. If it is a few degree difference, that will not have a huge impact, but if it is like 10 degrees, that will have a huge impact, and your accuracy will be very less, and also the output will change a lot.
Okay, let's move on to the next question. It's a very good question. Is it possible to make a load pin that can measure loads into two perpendicular axes?
Yes, we already make a few load pins that has two channels that can measure perpendicular loads.
Okay. Let me ask the next question. Can you make submersible load pins?
Yes, we already make submersible load cells mainly for normal water, under normal water, but under sea water that will be challenging. But if you have any inquiry for submersible load pins under normal water or sea water, just let us know. We are happy to help.
Okay, the last question that we selected. What are the smallest and largest sized in which a load pin can be made?
Um, well, the smaller size that depends on the capacity and the accuracy. The smaller size we have done, I think, is 9 millimeter in diameter, but I think we can make it a little bit smaller depending on the accuracy. The capacity and application. Yeah, smaller size I would say 9 millimeter. Larger size is like 6 inch, but that depends again depends on the capacity and the requirement, and also the length of the load pin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me add to Nilang a few more things that depends on our production capabilities as well. As example, the oven, the capacity of the oven, and also that the hoist system, capacity of the hoist system. So those are also need to be considered when we talk about the larger size. Okay, thank you, Nilanga. Thank you for answering these questions. And these are the few questions you sorted out from the huge number of questions that we received today. And sorry that we couldn't answer all of your questions in this webinar. And those questions that we couldn't answer, so myself or Nilanga or maybe one of our team member will contact you offline. And that's all for today's webinar. And thank you for tuning in. And hope to meet you next time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Cheers.